Thank you for tuning in, listening, and viewing on all the social media platforms. It's the voice of Memphis Shelby County Schools and C19 TV. It's our monthly Methodist EAP broadcast segment. Now, we always get a lot of good information for this segment. This segment is the last Wednesday of every month. And this month, oh my gosh, with all the heat and all the sun, we have a beautiful topic to talk about and discuss. Now, this EAP program is a benefit for all of our employees with Memphis Shelby County Schools. Absolutely free benefit, and it offers counseling, resources for mental health and healthiness. So make sure you stay tuned and listen in to the conversation so you can understand and see what's going on. Today I have Miss Karole Shorter. Now, Miss Karole Shorter is a licensed social worker and a certified employee assistance program specialist with Methodist Levana. And we're going to talk about some of her writings. She's not new to this. She is true to what she does. How you doing today?
I'm well, thank you.
So today we're going to talk about sunshine in the mind and decluttering emotionally, mentally, and maybe we're not ready.
Absolutely. So I was inspired to write that article because a friend of mine issued a challenge early on this year, and we were supposed to work on decluttering our homes. And each day we were supposed to spend an hour decluttering something. And so that's where I got inspired. I thought, well, we talk about, clearing our physical spaces, but what about our mental spaces?
Wow.
So that's where the idea came from.
And that's powerful because when I was reading your blog, I thought to myself, yeah, we do our spring cleaning. And then even for the summer, we go out in the yard and there's different plants we may plant and things like that. But in most cases, we do not do the same thing for our emotional space or our mental space.
Absolutely. And summer is usually a time when most of us will kind of slow down. We take vacations. The children are out of school, so we may have an opportunity to spend more time focusing on ourselves. So that's a great opportunity to kind of take stock of what we are focusing on and perhaps decide that this might be a good time to do some things differently.
And I did notice in your blog you talked about how we sometimes don't declutter our emotional or mental space because we like the clutter. It gives us an avenue to say we're too busy to do some things.
Right.
Okay, so since I said ouch when I read it and you are here with me now, I'm just going to ask if you could kind of elaborate on that a little bit for us.
We sometimes get comfortable with discomfort. And there are absolutely things that we don't have any control over, but the things that we have control over, we want to take some time and try to make some adjustments whenever necessary. Sometimes we may find a way to do that through journaling. I encourage people to journal, and I like the pen to paper. I know people, everybody's on this electronic, but it's something about that pen to paper and that flow. People will say, I don't know where to start. Just start wherever you are. And just let it flow. And sometimes go back and reflect on those things. There may be something there that you said you wanted to achieve for yourself. Well, this is an opportunity for you to go back and maybe take some steps to do that. But that also means we need to perhaps remove some things before we add some things. And so that's where we are with that.
Right. When you just said start where you are. So sometimes when we're decluttering our space, and when I say we, I'm talking about me.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Sometimes when we're decluttering our space, like a few weeks ago, I started right there in the living room.
Yes.
I was sitting in the living room and I looked around and I was like, okay, I need to put some things in order.
You felt inspired.
Right. For some odd reason, I got up, I was like, okay. I started right there in that space, a little bit at a time.
Right.
But I felt, should I say satisfied?
Absolutely.
When I put in order the little corner that I put in order. So that's the type of thing you're talking about that we can do emotionally and mentally.
Absolutely. And I tell people, sometimes thinking about the whole of a project can be overwhelming. just try to focus on, you did the right thing. Focus on that one small space or that one small task and just grow from there, because it's just like exercising. Get on that treadmill that first day. It doesn't feel great while we're on it, but when we're off, we feel accomplished and we're encouraged to do it again. Right. Absolutely.
So when we're thinking about decluttering or not, because, sometimes we think about it and we go, nah, I'm not doing that.
Oh, we do that several times before we actually take the action. Yes, ma'am.
What are some things, when we decide not to do it, you had some bullets about things that may be causing us not to do it. What are some of those things?
So sometimes we can kind of find ourselves in a mental block for whatever the reason. It may be it's too painful to revisit. And that's where perhaps talking to someone may be helpful. But we only get on the other side by going through. So we have to go through to get to the other side. And that takes time and it takes courage. And that's why I encourage people, when they come, I'm celebrating you, because I know it may have taken a lot for someone to walk through our doors to seek help. Again, the journaling, that might be a good way to kind of process. And when you reflect and you notice some recurring themes, it's like, you know what, this keeps coming up for me. Maybe I need to take some time and focus on that particular thing. Talking to other people, sometimes others recognize things in us that we don't recognize in ourselves. So talking to other people can be really helpful to get some insight, essentially. Yeah. And not be hard on ourselves. Let's say, give yourself grace. The same grace you would expect from someone else, or that you would extend to someone else, give that same grace to yourself.
Oh, that's powerful.
Absolutely.
Give yourself some grace.
Absolutely.
That is a powerful thing. So going back to when I decluttered my space, okay? So I had some things going on, right?
Absolutely.
And so through a process of grief, of losing or whatever, for 2 years I've had my Christmas tree up.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So, yeah, just sharing that, okay? For 2 years I had my Christmas tree up. I had my Christmas tree up because I felt like that was one of my things that would give me a little bit of joy in this season.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I love Christmas.
Okay.
So the tree's been up for 2 years, right? So then the other week I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and take the tree down.
Okay.
Okay? So, and I felt accomplished. I took the tree down, packed it away. I'm like, oh my goodness, look at this space I have.
Okay. Okay.
I did all of that. But sometimes, right, we have things in a place because it is doing, like what I just said, that Christmas tree was bringing me,
something
right,
yes.
you know, whenever there was a hard time or whatever, what I would do is I would turn those lights on.
Okay.
Because everybody loves Christmas lights.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
So for those people, but still around that thing, there was clutter, right?
Right.
So I had to, even when I had that thing, I still have to declutter, because sometimes we build stuff up around stuff. Am I saying it right?
I do think so. It's just, again, we need to take that time to kind of reevaluate. Like, what does this represent for me? Why am I holding on to this? If it's a relationship that needs to be healed, do I need to perhaps apologize that maybe my communication was not received in the way that I intended for it to be? And taking ownership of that and correcting that. And you don't have any control over how that person receives it, but you can make the effort to try to, resolve whatever may be lingering, essentially.
Now, somebody's listening or viewing, and they're wondering, okay, Cathy, you keep talking about this blog. You keep talking about she wrote something. Where can they find your blog and many others for Methodists?
So our website is MethodistEAPcanhelp.org. Again, that's MethodistEAPcanhelp.org. And that website will give you access to multiple things. It has our team and our bios on there. Sometimes people will call to schedule appointments and they're not familiar with who might be a good fit for them, or perhaps their household member, because the household members are eligible for the service as well.
Exactly.
Give that a look over, and when you call the office, that might give you some idea about who you think you might work best with, essentially. And if they need to reach out to us, our phone number is 901-683-5658. Again, that number is 901-683-5658. We'll take your information. I like people to know that we do offer in person, but we also offer telehealth. So during the pandemic, we started offering telehealth, and we've continued that because that is a convenient method for some people. So if they're at work and they want to use their lunch break to do their session, they can do that.
Oh, that is awesome. And you guys have been doing that
Yes, absolutely.
ever since the pandemic. Now let me ask you this, and let me say this too. It is a very special resource for Memphis Shelby County School employees who your family whoever lives in the house with you can benefit from this EAP program, and it's absolutely free.
Absolutely.
Absolutely free, and it's confidential.
It is confidential.
Sometimes people get hung up on, I don't want
Who's
everybody to
gonna
know my business.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so this is confidential, and you can go ahead, while we're in the summertime, kind of declutter because we're getting ready to go back to school.
That's right. That's right.
And it's about to get busy.
Absolutely.
So it'd be better to kind of have yourself at least a little bit, like that one small space.
Absolutely.
That's what we start with, the one small
The one
space.
small space. Yes, yes.
The one
and
small
see it as
space.
self-care. It's self-care for yourself. You'll show up better for the people that you're working with, for your household members. It's just a really great resource that I wish more people would take advantage of. And you do not have to have the insurance to use the program. This is a benefit that's paid for as a benefit by the company. So we ask about the insurance if we need to make a referral, but the actual counseling service, that is a free benefit, and you get up to 10 sessions. And so that's quite a bit.
That is quite a bit.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it is. And then the question I wanted to ask was, and normally every month, we have our EAP. We also talk about the offering that Methodists have for the community.
Absolutely.
For those people who may not be employed by Memphis Shelby County Schools. And so they still have that?
We do still have, it's the Living Well Network. And what that is, it's a program that connects individuals in the community with services in the community. So again, you don't have to be a Methodist employee. That services for anyone in Shelby County. And they'll connect. They don't do the actual counseling. They connect you with someone. And sometimes people don't know exactly what they need, and the staff there will kind of talk through those things with you and get you connected with available providers.
Now, going back to your blog.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we've talked about reasons why, questions one should ask oneself as to why you may not want to declutter.
Yes.
But for those who do, who say, hey, they're listening on the radio, they're viewing on social media, and they're like, that's me.
I'm ready.
What are some of the things, you talked about it a little bit, maybe journaling, but in your blog, you also have some other things that they may want to do, getting alone time and meditation and things like that.
Absolutely. So meditation, I strongly encourage that. And that could, some people are like, I don't know how to quiet my mind. Well, again, it takes practice. Anything takes practice for us to become better at it. And it doesn't have to be some long extended period of time. We just do a few minutes, and then the next time maybe you extend that. That's a great resource. Absolutely.
All right. So you get some alone time, you start journaling. You don't have to write a novel, just a sentence or a word at a time. Meditation, practicing on it. And really just that alone time to quiet your mind. I heard you say quiet your mind.
Yes.
Because decluttering is really to help us quiet our mind because our mind kind of helps the rest of our body to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. And some people don't know how. They'll say, I don't know how to stop it. They'll wake up in the middle of the night because they can't turn their minds off. And so I encourage people, keep a journal next to your bed. When that happens, just start writing about what you're thinking about, just to kind of get it. And that's a way to process your thoughts and your feelings.
Oh, wow. Well, I want to thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you for having me.
Sharing with our listening and viewing communities today.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you for taking the challenge from your friend.
Yes.
To declutter, the
Yes,
space.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And I want to thank you for being open to, you know, to receive the information to feed, to give to us.
Yes, ma'am.
Because there's a lot of us out here
Absolutely.
who need to declutter.
Absolutely. Yes,
We
ma'am.
need to declutter our mental and emotional spaces. And so thank you for creating that safe space for us. Now, before we wrap up,
Yes, ma'am.
if we were on the radio and if we were in, you know, we used to do it, you know, on the Teams virtually, I would always say, you want to give a shout out to anybody?
Just a shout out to my team at Methodist EAP. Great team. I absolutely adore my coworkers, and that makes all the difference. It really does.
It does. It does. Thank you again, Ms.
Thank you.
Karole. We really appreciate it. And I want to thank you, viewers and listeners, for tuning in. Now, if you are friends with someone who is employed by Memphis Shelby County Schools, maybe they don't know about this benefit that they have, make sure you share that information with them. And if you are not employed by Memphis Shelby County Schools, but you're one of the ones who, like me, need to declutter, right? There is the Living Well Network. And so you can go and find that resource as well. Methodist offers that resource for the community. We thank Methodist and their dynamic team over there for all they do for our Memphis Shelby County School families.
Yes, ma'am.
We really appreciate you. And we thank you, community, for all you do when you tune in and you listen and you engage. I'm Cathy Hart, your musical masseuse. Thank you. Until next time, know this, that I continue to speak miracles and blessings into your lives from my heart to yours on 88.5 FM.